Okay, and thank you all for being here. I think I know everybody. Um, so we will go ahead and get started. So this session is about Microsoft 365, and the reason I'm doing it is because I have, for the class that I teach Intro to Computers, which is now called Intro to Information Technology. We did a big switch this semester from Office 2016 to 2019. I'm not sure that makes any difference to any of you out there, but just know that the upgrade to 2019, which happened over the summer, was a big change for my class, for our program, for the books that we needed to use. So that's why I am kind of involved and on top of this change. So let me go on here. And I just want to explain a little bit about what you may have on your systems and what you are using. We all use Outlook. You can get Outlook right from going to the web, My NCC, and clicking on Outlook. If you go in that way, that's what you're using. Or you can download it to your desktop. You can download all of the Office products to your desktop and use it that way. That's what we call the client version. So there is a little bit of difference between the Office, the web version and the client version. The same applies for things like Zoom. There's a client version and there's a web version. So you get different features depending on what version you're using. So at NCC, the version that is now on the web is an upgraded 2016 version with a lot of the changes that came with 2019, but not all of them. So if you are someone that needs to have all of the new features, and I'm going to show you what some of those are, and you'll probably like them, depending on how much use you make out of Office products. You'll just like the features, and you'll have to download the version from the NCC website and use it on your computer as the client version. So I'm hoping that that makes sense to you. And a way that you can tell whether or not you are using the new version, I have a picture here of PowerPoint, and you'll see it says Microsoft 365. So I have downloaded Office onto my computer, and when I open up PowerPoint, that's what I see, Microsoft 365. I see Word 365. They're not even calling it 365 anymore. They're calling it Microsoft 365. Office is a part of Microsoft 365. So Office 2019 becomes a version. The full version is a part of Microsoft 365. So regardless of what version you have, you may want to upgrade, and you can do that by go from My NCC. When you go to the web, if you look all the way over to the right, and it's kind of a tiny little icon, it says Install Office, and if you click on that and download it, you'll have the new Microsoft 365 or the full version of Office 2019. So does that make sense? Any questions about that?
I just have a quick question. I just
Go
tried to
ahead.
check mine. Is there another way to check? Because it's a good problem to have, but mine literally goes so fast I can't see.
Well, it does go very fast. You must be on a fast computer.
Yeah, it's a good problem.
Here's another thing. Can you see at the top of my screen where I have search up here?
Yes.
The new versions have search up at the top.
Awesome. I will check that. Thank you.
So check that too. I mean, it's not critical, but some of the features that I'm going to show you may not be available on the client version that we currently have. Okay, if you purchased a new laptop, recently, within the past 6 months, you will get the home version of Microsoft Office, and that does not have all the bells and whistles. They want you to upgrade so that you get, so you know how that goes. So I just thought I would show you that, because I had to kind of go through that all summer to make sure that I had the right version for my class. And it's even more difficult trying to explain it to students that have Chromebooks and every other thing, and they don't know how they should download Office. Okay, so Microsoft 365, which they're calling it now, is a hub for teamwork, all kinds of teamwork. And so what you'll notice, and maybe you've noticed it already, is that all of the Office products integrate with each other. So, in the past, you may have had Word and PowerPoint and Excel through Microsoft, but you may have had to use like you may have had to use Zoom or Collaborate for your video conferencing. Now you can do all of that through Microsoft, and it's all integrated. So you can bring in Word documents and Excel documents. You can bring it all into Microsoft. So they're making it very, you know, very territorial, so to speak. And you'll see what I mean as we go through. So again, productivity and teamwork is what they are aiming for. And what the research has shown, through which Microsoft has done, is that you can engage employees better if you have just one product and one hub for them to go to all the time. The Microsoft Teams, and I don't know, go ahead and put in the chat if you are using Microsoft Teams, maybe with your group. Yvonne, you might be using it, I think. I think the library is
Yes.
using it, and your
Yeah.
yeah, HR is using it, the library is using it. Okay, so some of you are using that already. It's really beneficial to have that for instant messaging and chatting, so you don't have to, send an email every time, and you can all see a message at the same time. You can also use Microsoft 365 for online meetings. Which is Teams, and you'll see some of that. For your email, calendaring, you can have Office across all your devices, file storage and sharing, accessibility, which is really important, and virtualization. And you'll see more of that in the next few slides. So on this top row, I have Word, Excel, PowerPoint. This is Notebook, which has been a product of Microsoft for a long time. Some, students use it in their classes. It's a nice program. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's something that can also be integrated through Teams. I'm sure you're all familiar with Outlook, because we use Outlook now, and now our students are on Outlook. So that makes it even better to use Microsoft 365 Cloud. And if you remember Skype, I don't use it anymore. Many years ago I did, but Skype belongs to Microsoft. So you can also get a free Skype account just through this version of, or through actually any version of Office. So where can you use, or how can you use Microsoft 365? You can use it on your computer, your desktop. You can use it on a laptop. You can use it on an iPad. You can use it on your phones. So I, for example, have Outlook on my phone, and I have Teams on my phone, because those are the two that I use the most, and I can be anywhere and be able to answer my teammates or students in my class if they send messages through Outlook. So Microsoft 365 is compatible with Windows, with Mac, with iOS, and with Android. So just go to your Play Store, or you go to the App Store, and you can download any of those apps. And then of course you want to log in with your NCC credentials, so that when you do go into your Outlook and those products, those other applications, you'll have everything all together. Any questions? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, I'm going to bring up each couple of these I'm going to bring up Word, PowerPoint, Excel, well, PowerPoint I'm using, and Teams to show you some of the new features that just might be something that you might like to use. So Microsoft Word has what they have called visual updates, and you can, which are all kinds of icons and images and stickers and 3D models, which can also integrate through any of the Microsoft products. So I'm going to bring up a Word doc. There's Excel, here's Word, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, does everybody see my screen?
Mhm.
All right, so if you are a Word user, you know that you insert images all the time. They have made it really, really nice now, because when you click on insert an image, you now have an icon and you now have 3D models. Those are also like artificial intelligence. And, you know, it would take a long time for you to learn this by using a program, how to create these little icons. Well, actually the 3D models, but now you can incorporate them right into your own class or your own document. So I'm bringing up, I clicked on icons. I'm not going to search the web or search my computer, but this just comes up when I click on icons in the insert icons area. And you'll see that they have everything categorized. There are several different categories. You can, let's just look at animals. And by the way, you can click on images and insert an image from your computer or search for it on the web. But these are some that are made already. So let's see, I want to bring in this cat and bring it in here. You'll know what I mean when you see it. It looks like something, you may be able to get that off the web, but you know, rather than search for it, go out to the web, you can just easily bring an icon in that you like. And of course, it's they're arranged by category. You can also do that in other Microsoft products too, and I'll show you that when we get to PowerPoint. So here's the 3D models that I was talking about. So I click on 3D models. Again, there are online 3D models that you can just use. You don't have to pay for them. I'm going to bring in one. This shows that it's an animated. This is an animated model, which is really cute. It would be good if you use these in your classes, because you have to have this version. You have to have Microsoft 365 in order for it to anyone to see it. And you'll see what I mean by the animated. Take a minute. Google also has some animated document. Here you go. So here's a cute little animated guy that you could use in some kind of a document that you create. So what do you think about them?
Cute.
There's also, let me show you one more. In the icons, there are also images of people. These may look familiar to you because you see a lot of these types of images when you know, are in professionally create, whoops, I want to move him, professionally created, you know,
Yeah.
documents that are created, or in any of the, you know, little videos that are created. I can't move this one out of the way. But you get the picture. You can use all of these. They are free. They are from Microsoft, and you can do all kinds of things with them. So that's Microsoft Word 365. And so I think you can have, you know, a lot of fun with them. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. And the next thing I have up, I believe, is PowerPoint. Okay, so you are looking at my PowerPoint, which I did create with Microsoft 365. I want to tell you, this version of PowerPoint makes you look like a genius. When you create PowerPoints for your class or for any type of presentation, I mean, you don't have to just pick out a template anymore. You can just very plainly put in information in a slide. And then, do you see this? I don't know if you can see it up here on the top. No, you can't. You'll get to see, it tells you to find a design. It asks you to add a design up in the
Design
corner.
ideas.
It looks like this,
Right there.
design ideas.
Yeah.
Do you see that? And it will give you a list on the side with, you know, if I press this now, you're not going to see it because I've used it already. You can see that, you know, this may, oh, it will. Okay. It picks up all types of designs. So I can take that one and change my design there. It just gives you all sorts of design ideas that you can use. And it really makes your PowerPoint come out looking great. I mean, I make them all the time for my class, and they look this better than maybe some of the ones that are created by publishers, because you can add all sorts of things. So if you're a PowerPoint user, as I am, don't hesitate to use those little design ideas. You can also bring in icons. If I come up here again, I can click on the icons and I can bring those nice icons in again. I can also bring in the 3D models. So do you see what I mentioned before about having everything go across the entire suite? So it just will make your PowerPoints look really, really nice. There's one more feature, and I'm not going to talk about it today because Lauren is going to do a session on captioning next week. As a matter of fact, I believe it's on Wednesday, the 18th. You can also caption your PowerPoints. So you know how important it is for us to have captioning because of, you know, accessibility in our classes. So now you can create a PowerPoint where you do have the audio going, and it can also capture that on the bottom, the closed captioning on the bottom. So, you know, Microsoft is really thinking of all aspects of education and making their products as robust as they can be. So I'm pretty excited about all of these because, like I said, you're going to look really great when you create these different presentations and use these different icons and objects. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Microsoft Excel. I use Excel in my course. What I'm going to show you is not something that I would teach in an introductory course, but I did show it to my students so that maybe if they have to create some type of presentation, they could, you know, really make a nice presentation without having to go to the library to find all of their information. So let me bring up my Excel. Okay, here is my Excel. Let's hope it's the correct one. Yes. Okay, I already started doing this. Somebody name a stock for me. Well, let's put in Microsoft. Somebody throw out the name of a stock.
Amazon.
Amazon. So I have a couple here just to give you an idea of what you can do. So this is data. And when I come up here and click on my data tab, I have a choice of picking stocks or geography. I'm going to show you that soon too. But how cool is this when you click on Microsoft? It's going to bring up, it will bring up their, what their current price is. It will bring up what their high stock is, the high stock price is. I could bring up, you know, it also shows you what their symbol is. Let's see, what else do we want to, the year incorporated, let's bring that up. So if you're a student and you are, you know, you have to do a research project or you're researching a stock, I mean, for yourself, you don't have to be a student. You can bring that information right in. Amazon is 3,000. Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool. And they were incorporated in 1996. So you can find all types of information about the stock. We looked up Pfizer today because, you know, they're the ones that are doing the vaccine. So we thought it would be important to look at that. It's at 40.46 today, and it closed yesterday at 39.17. So it's kind of going up already. So that's just a fun thing. I think it's great for students to be able to find all this information out without, you know, doing a lot of research. With all of this, you can take all of this and create a table out of it or create a pie chart out of it. You have, you know, all your information. You can make a, let's see if I can find a chart. You can make a pivot chart. You can make a column chart. You can just, let's see, I don't know if this will give me anything. A bar chart, let's see.
So Sandy, if you saved this file, then, and you opened it the next day, it would update automatically?
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't done that actually. That's a good question.
Okay.
That is a good question. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does because it's real time that, you know, that you're looking at. I don't think I can here. Let's see if I can make a chart. So this is really kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. And this is just my system being slow, but it should bring in a chart. And maybe it will. I don't know. Okay, so now let's go to the geography. I love this geography part. So let's do United States. Somebody throw out a country.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Let's do Germany. Italy. Let's do UK. I think we'll pick up UK. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's go this time. We want the data to go to geography. And we can bring up, oh, let's look at all this that we can bring up. Let's just bring up the abbreviation, let's see. Okay, and I think it will copy down through all of them. No, it doesn't. On this one, it doesn't copy down. I may have to bring in a couple of more fields for it to do. Let's bring up, oh, gasoline price. Let's see what we have for that. That's hard to believe. Oh, that may be like, I don't know. Would that be the barrel price? That I couldn't tell you. I don't know why it did that. And let's bring up population. Okay, so let's do the same thing for Costa Rica. I think I brought, let's see if this will copy down for me now. Nope. I have to put 2 in before I can do it. Oops, US. So you get the idea. You can bring, if somebody was comparing the, the population between United States and Germany, it gives you the leaders of it shows you the flag. It gives you the leaders. There's just a wealth of information. The birth rate, fossil fuel. Let's see what that one is. So I think you get the idea. You can find all this information. It's all at your fingertips. And I think, your students were really, I don't know if you ever need it or if your students or library, Yvonne, that would save a lot of time, wouldn't it, for students who come in and have to do a project report on a
Yes,
particular
yeah, very handy.
I love it.
About,
I think it's just pretty awesome. And after you get like I did two different things in here because I wanted to show you what it was. But after you have about two in here, you just drag it down like you do in an Excel sheet, and it will fill in all the rest of the information for you. So they can take all this information, they can insert a chart, a pie chart, any kind of chart that you would use in Excel. Remember, everything is grouped, everything stays the same from one application to another. And I think it's just pretty awesome. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is let me see, here we go. I'm going to talk about Microsoft Teams. I do not claim to be an expert at Teams. I use it, we use it in our group. Some of you use it in our groups. I do know, I will tell you that Microsoft is trying to take over Zoom in being the #1 web conferencing. And I can tell you they're on their way because they have some really great features within Teams. So in general, Microsoft Teams is a great hub for teamwork. When you have your participants in a grid view, you can have what they call spotlight. So if you have your students or your team in a grid view, you can just click on them and it will just spotlight them, so that kind of like what you have in Zoom when you just have the person who's speaking, the speaker view, um, present. You can change the background. You can change all your backgrounds in Teams. This right here is called Together Mode. Now, some people like it. I thought it was really neat. Some people think it's creepy. I really like it. There are a couple of different backgrounds that you can pick too. This is an auditorium background. You can pick a desk, like a student desk. You can actually see the people that are in the audience. At points, you can actually see their heads moving a little bit. So people think it's creepy. I think it's kind of cool, and it reminds me um, of VR when you actually artificial intelligence is what Microsoft is going after too. But if you ever put the VR headsets on, um, you would see that this is something, there's a program where you can do speeches and other things. And actually it looks like your class is right there in front of you. So that's really kind of cool. There's something called MS Stream, which you can use for recording. Once again, live captions in your meetings. How cool is that? You're having a team meeting or a group meeting or some kind of a community meeting. You can have live captions as you're going along. You can have make student a note taker if you needed to. Calendar. So where do you think the calendar is coming from? The calendar would be your calendar in Outlook. You can turn any calendar into any event, I'm sorry, on your calendar into a live meeting. And yes, Kim, you can download Microsoft Teams. As a matter of fact, Microsoft Teams can be used outside of the Microsoft suite. So you don't, if you were, didn't have a subscription to Microsoft, you could just go to Microsoft.com and download Teams as a standalone app. Now, I'm not sure you'll have every bell and whistle on that version, but you can download it free. Kind of like Zoom, you can download Zoom on your own, but you don't get all the bells and whistles unless you have a paid subscription. When you're in Zoom or Collaborate or anywhere, in Zoom, you have to have the paid account for 500 people in order to see all of those different screens. Like when we do the Dr. E meetings on Wednesdays, you get to see pages and pages of people. But in a classroom, in Microsoft Teams, with a regular subscription, right now you can get up to 49 people. That's the upgrade that they did over the summer. And word has it that they might be going up to 150. So you get to see all of those. So it's really becoming more robust every day. And that's why they want you to use it. So I'm going to take you into my Teams so you can get an idea of how we use Teams. It's coming up. And so I'm going to start over here on the side. You can see that this is my OLET, which is online learning and ed tech. This is ours. And we have two general areas, two general chats. One is a water cooler where that's just it, a water cooler. We can do, whatever we want. One we try to keep just to work so we don't have to weed through all, the non-essential text. We use it as an IM, instant messaging. We use that all the time. We also share documents all the time, pictures, etc. But if you look over here on the side, you'll see the chats, and you'll see that, these, I showed you a couple of my chats. So here's where you would start out in Teams. So if you'll see I have 4 teams going right now. This was my online learning, which I just showed you. This was the Microsoft Teams workshop that Lisa Johnston did a while ago, and she set up one of these team groups, so to speak. And there you would have the chat and all that other, all those other apps within that. This is a book club discussion group that we have, and this is the CTLT and OLET. Those are our two meeting groups. So that's how you would start out, making a group, and then you invite people to come to that particular team. We have assignments. Right now, we are not using assignments because students, now that students have Outlook, you can actually set up a team, a class. It would be a team, but you might set it up for your class. I'm not sure that students have full access to this yet, but they may have access to some of it. I would check with the help desk to see if all your students have full access. They may just have access to messaging through Outlook on this particular area. I mentioned before about calendar, and you can see this is my calendar. Everybody has a calendar that they use that comes from Outlook. And at any time you could click on one of these meetings that you have. You can edit it any way you want. And when you come up here, you can say meet now, and you can actually do a live meeting. So if you all were in my team right now and I clicked on my calendar, and if you were in my Outlook message right here and I did live event, you all could be in the live event. And remember, the captioning would go along with it. You could change your backgrounds. There's just a lot you can do as far as changing your screen, just like you do with Zoom. One of the screens that's in Microsoft Teams is blur. So you know how, some people just don't like their background shown. Some students don't like their background shown either. So they can just blur their background um, and use it that way. Yes, Kim, that will work on Android. Where do we go for the downloads? Go to the My NCC page where you can, when you click on Microsoft Office, I think it says, all the way over to the right, you're going to see download Office. So download that and you're going to see a whole group of apps. So that's the calendar. Anytime you're in a chat or anytime you want to call, and we've made this mistake many times, we've called the whole team or the whole group. You don't want to do that. You can just, call one person, or you can call everybody to be on the Zoom. I keep saying Zoom, on the team call with you. You can add all kinds of files. This little ellipsis here, when you're in a chat or whatever, you can get the link, you can open it in your browser. When you're in a chat and somebody sends a link, or a file, I should say, you can download it. And when you come over here, you're going to see all of the documents and files that you downloaded from being in your Teams group. So that's a really cool feature. You can just use it right there. Okay. When you click on these ellipses, and if you'll notice that these 3 ellipses are all over Microsoft. So, click on them to see what else is offered there, because you're going to find a lot of information or a lot of things you can do when you click on those ellipses. So I clicked here to find an app. Maybe these are just the ones that I loaded up. There's OneNote. There's Stream, which is a video place. So you could, I don't think I have anything in here, but if you were to load a video in here that you want to watch with your students or your group, you can just click on the stream. I don't have any videos here, and they would play right here while you're having your group. I feel like I could almost teach a class with, you can add assignments. Unfortunately, there isn't grading, but you could teach a whole class right from Microsoft Teams by doing, all of this. Okay, and finally down here at the bottom, here are some more apps. Here are apps that you can't even imagine how many apps are here. And they are not just apps that come from Microsoft. There is a grading app that people say they use Teams and they use this grading app. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just pointing that out. There are education apps, there are wikis, there are, that planner seems to be pretty nice, stocks. Any of these apps that you think would be beneficial for you to use, however you'd like to. Here's Microsoft Project. Someone was asking for Microsoft Project. You can just copy the link and put it in your, you can just add it to your team. See what I did? I just clicked on it, added to team, and now you have Microsoft Projects added. So I just think it's amazing that we have all of this at our disposal. But it takes a lot. You have to learn what's available first, and this is social and fun, news from Microsoft, all of that good stuff, and communities from Microsoft. So any questions? There's an awful lot to learn there. And by the way, we're doing these short sessions just to get some tips. They're not full sessions. We could do, a full session on any of these items that you saw today, but this is just kind of like the teaser to get you motivated to come to some other trainings, or, for us to do Oh, Joe is here. Okay. I didn't know Joe was here watching the chat. So with that, thank you for being here today. Any other final questions I can answer for you? Be sure to sign up for Lauren's class next week, which is on the PowerPoint. It's very cool to see captioning in PowerPoint. I think it's just absolutely awesome. So with that, once again, thanks for being here. And if you find out anything really cool that you think everybody needs to know about, just drop me a line, let me know, and we'll add it to one more of these tip sessions.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank
Thanks
you
for being
very much.
flexible.
Appreciate
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Good. Have fun. Have fun.
Thank you. Great.